Hi everyone, and welcome to today's mid-month mentoring. So this is a new series that we're starting. So from today, the first one, and we're going to run a mid-month mentoring session at 2 o'clock on the second Wednesday of each month, and we're going to cover a different topic each month. We did ask people what they would like us to cover. So you guys have selected what we're actually going to talk about, and we're going to kick off today with working with your virtual assistant to provide great marketing content. So some of the things we're going to be talking about today, first of all, what is digital marketing, knowing and growing your audience to deliver your marketing message, ways to create and manage the content that you're going to deliver, the various ways and platforms of delivering your marketing message, and working with a VA so they can do most of the donkey work, the heavy lifting for you. And also very important now that you stay compliant with GDPR. So we're going to be covering that as well at the end. So do stick around because that's really important. So first of all, let's kick off. So let's talk about digital marketing itself. And marketing, the whole world of marketing has really changed over recent years. You know, when I first started, things were very, very different. It was all about print. You would be putting adverts into newspapers, leaflets, flyers, this sort of thing. But obviously with the evolution of the digital platforms out there, with social media, with email marketing, all these various different things, life has now got a whole lot easier. And things are becoming easier as well. You know, there are some major shifts happening right now within the whole marketing arena. So it's really, really important to keep on top of those, looking at technology, AI, what's coming along, new ways of doing things. People want to hear the marketing messages in different ways. You know, the whole demographic is constantly changing, so it's really important to look at that. So we're going to talk about the 5 C's when it comes to marketing. So first of all, you've got to be able to create an audience. You've got to make sure that you're talking to the right people. Then you've got to connect with them. You've got to captivate that audience, capture them in some way, so you've actually got a record of their details, and then you need to convert them to sales. So that is the 5 C's of digital marketing. You obviously need to be really, really visible and valuable. So you've got to be providing valuable content within your marketing, and you've got to build a personal profile. You've got to let people get to know you, then they've got to get to like you, and then they've got to trust you. So how you market yourself, that is how you build up to that trust. And you've got to really make sure that people know you and trust you well, because people deal with people. They don't really follow brands. It's the person behind it that people want to get to know. If you think about some of the big brands out there, you know, if you look at Virgin, you know, it's Richard Branson that they're interested in. They're not really following Virgin. Elon Musk and Tesla, you know, all these big names. It's the person that's behind it that people really want to get to know and they want to get to trust. So don't have a faceless brand. With your marketing, make sure that people do get to know you, get to like you, and get to trust you. And then finally, be consistent with your marketing. So what are the objectives of digital marketing? So first of all, it's to acquire new customers, build loyalty with your existing customers, to promote your brand and your brand awareness, and to increase your sales and your revenue. So these are the 4 key objectives behind digital marketing. And when you're doing this, you're not really looking to sell products. As we say, you're looking to build your brand awareness, you're getting people to know, like, and trust you, but don't really use it to sell your products. What you want to do is you want to be bringing people information and advice that is going to solve their problems for you. You're going to solve their problems for them. So think about your audience, okay? They don't really care about you. What they care about is themselves. So what's in it for them? So always be thinking about what is in it for your audience. And you want to give people free advice as well, give them free value. So people don't necessarily have to spend money with you by following you on social media or reading your messages, however you deliver them. Give it free and build that trust, and leave people hungry. So give them the free information, let them smell the kitchen, but don't actually let them taste the food. Leave people hungry for more, and then that's when they're going to come back, and that's when they're going to start to spend money with you. So you must develop the right sort of network. You've got to be targeting your audience, know who your audience are, what is their pain, and find solutions for their pain. So but you don't want to be finding solutions that are going to give more people more things to think about, more problems, more pain. So come up with a complete solution that is going to solve the pain that they're experiencing. You want to be able to build empathy with your audience. So, so you understand how they're feeling. Maybe you've been there before. So you can put this message across within your marketing. So I know exactly how you feel. And maybe you can relate this to stories. Tell a story about how you experience the same thing that they're going through, and this is how you solved your problem. And by doing this, you will create a following, create a loyal following and raving fans. So always be working on that, becoming a key person of influence, somebody that people are going to come to, they're going to respect. You're known for owning your own particular space. You're the best at what you do, building that reputation and creating that audience. They say it's not what you know, it's who you know. Well, when it comes to marketing, it's not what you know, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. So remember that when you're marketing, particularly on social media, it is who it's not just the person that you are reaching out to, your own followers, people that are looking at your posts, but it's also the people that they know as well. So if you can encourage people, if you've got a marketing message which you're perhaps putting there on Facebook, and you can then encourage people to share that with the people that they know, and those people to share with the people that they know, then can you just see how that reach suddenly just really does escalate? And there are tricks that you can do to actually make sure that people are sharing, to increase your reach by understanding the algorithms of the likes of Facebook and LinkedIn to actually help you do that. So what are the right platforms for actually delivering your message? So when we say your message, this is your story. Okay, so this is whatever it is that you want to say, and whether it's on email, whether it's on social media, whether it's on webinars, the message is what it is that you want to convey to people. So how do you do that? So first of all, you've got webinars. So you can do a webinar such as this. YouTube videos. So YouTube videos, webinars on YouTube, they're free. People can sign up to them. You can help them, give the people free advice, get to engage with people, get to people to know, like, and trust you, start to position yourself. You can use social media. So you've got Instagram, you've got LinkedIn, you've got Facebook, you've got Twitter, TikTok. So TikTok is now becoming a very widely used platform for delivering business messages. And email campaigns. A lot of people think that email campaigns are a thing of the past. Far from it. By doing email campaigns correctly, you can get great results, fantastic results from email. And then direct messaging. So, you know, putting posts on social media is great. That's one thing, but of course it's not very personal. Everybody knows that there's lots and lots of people looking at that. So yeah, it's a good way of reaching out to lots of people in one go and getting other people to share your message. But direct messaging also, this is where you're having an actual conversation with somebody on a one-to-one basis. You've obviously got to make sure that you've got great content, so really compelling content. And how do you do that? So it's important that you set aside time each week to actually have a creative session, have some creative thinking sessions where you just switch yourself off from the outside world. You take yourself into, you know, into a quiet room, switch off your phone, spend an hour, 2 hours just thinking about what are the things that you can, what's the value you can provide to other people. What can you schedule out? What are people's problems? What are the pain points? What are people looking for solutions for? And then coming up with the answers. Also, tell your story. You know, we're going to talk about how people want to get, we did talk about how people want to get to know you. People want to understand the person behind the brand. It's important to have a good brand, but people want to get to know you as well. So what is your story? Let people into your lives. A great time to do this. I like to do this on a Sunday at the weekend. You know, people are relaxed. They're perhaps spending time with their own family. So great time at the weekend on a Sunday to actually give people an update a bit about you, what's going on in your life. You know, what are you doing that Sunday? How are you spending the day? Are you with family? Are you out? Are you enjoying time with friends? Take lots of pictures as you go through your week. There's, you know, we're always carrying a camera around. So use it. Take lots and lots of pictures of the things that you see, the things that you're doing, you know, just add them to your library of content. You don't have to use them all, but just take those pictures, have the content available so that when you want to use it, you've got stuff that you can use. So we've talked about, you know, there's a lot of things here to do. We've talked about creating this content. We've talked about scheduling out the content, understanding the message. When you do this, there's other things that you might need to do, such as creating great graphics, your videos, maybe they need to be edited. So lots and lots of things. There's lots and lots of moving parts to digital marketing. So you can't do it all yourself. Not only can you not do it all yourself, you probably you don't have the skills, you don't have the time or the skills to do it all yourself. So if you're going to do this properly, you do really need to outsource the things that you either don't want to do or don't have to do or can't do yourself. So get a VA, a virtual assistant, and outsource this stuff to a virtual assistant that can do it for you. I'm going to give you some tips on the way that we do things. So I have on my phone a WhatsApp content group. So my virtual assistants in my social media team, they are all members of that WhatsApp content group. And as I go about my week, I'll take pictures, I'll be messaging them, I'll be coming up with a few ideas. If I record a video, perhaps on a Sunday, I might record a little video of what I'm doing. And then I just send that over on the WhatsApp content group to my VAs. And then from there, they will then top and tail it. If it's a video, they might edit it. They will make it look good. They'll perhaps come up with some words to go with it. And then they will post it on the various different social media channels. So on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. So all I've done is perhaps spend 30 seconds, a minute, perhaps recording that video or taking a few pictures. I've sent it over and then they have done the rest for me. Have a content chest. So I like to use Trello. So again, on my phone, I run the Trello app, and on there I have a content chest. And as I'm going about my week, any ideas that come into my head, I'll just put them onto the content chest. I spend a lot of time listening to other people's podcasts, listening to audio books, going to webinars, listening to other people's webinars, networking. So anything, any golden nuggets that come up as I'm going about my week, I just put them into the content chest. And then those golden nuggets, they're all there, they're all saved, and I can then just recall those at any time. If I'm creating content myself, I can share it with my VAs. If I'm putting together presentations, if I'm preparing for a webinar, I've got all that content. I can refer back, pull out those golden nuggets, makes life really, really easy. And use a content calendar. So again, we use Trello, but it could be Excel. There's lots of different ways of doing this, but a content calendar is just a calendar which schedules out what it is you're going to be posting or sending out each day of the week. So whether you do it once a week, whether you schedule out posts to go out 3 days a week, 5 days a week, 7 days a week, you have it all pre-planned. Your VAs can prepare a lot of this content for you. They can come up with the images, the graphs. They can then put that into your content calendar. And all you need to do is to sit down once a week, review it, make any changes if you want to, and approve it. And then your virtual assistant can then schedule it and send it at the appropriate time on the appropriate date. Have a great website. You want to be using your marketing to be driving traffic all the time to your website. So it's important that you've got a really good website that really does provide the detail of what you do, what you're about, what's your service, what's your product, how do you deliver, testimonials, all these sorts of things are on your website. So you can't really do this yourself. In order to have a really good website, then there's lots of skills that are needed. So first of all, you've got to be able to create the right words, create the right content that uses the right language, that's search engine optimized, or SEO, so that when people put a phrase into Google or Bing or any other kind of search engine, you're going to appear on that front page because you've got the right language and the right words in there. This is called SEO. You've got to have a great layout. So you need somebody to design the layout so that it's easy to navigate from one page to the other. You want to be having in there good images. So again, this is another skill. You need to have a graphic designer that can come up with great images for you. So there's lots and lots of different skill sets that are needed. And yes, you can use one of these template type website builders. But they're not really you're not going to have a great website from one of those. You can try and do it yourself, but it's always going to appear like a home built website. So if you're going to have a good website, it needs to be done on WordPress, where you've got all the right tools to be able to have a fantastic website. And you're going to need the technical expertise as well. So as well as your graphic designer and the person that's writing your content and the person that's designing the layouts, you also need to have somebody technical, a web developer that can actually build the website for you and maintain it, because it's not just a question of building the website, but it's got to be maintained as well. Make sure that it's active, that it's not gone down, that there's nothing functioning incorrectly on your actual website. So all this takes time. You need to have a great brand. So if you're starting out in business, you need to start thinking about, what is your brand? So a lot of people think that a brand is just a business name. Well, it's not. It is so much more than that. Let me think. So if you look at Virgin Airways and British Airways, they both do the same thing. They both fly people around the world, and that's what they do. But the perception of those businesses is very different. One of them has been around for a very long time. They're top price, and you expect top service. That's what you're going to get from British Airways. And then the other, they are more disruptive. They do things their own way. They're the new kids on the block, although having said that, they've probably been around for 20 or 30 years now. But yeah, they are the new kids on the block. You've got Richard Branson behind them. They're a bit more fun. They do things differently. So although they both do the same thing, they are perceived very differently. You know what you're going to get from those, and that is because of their branding. So you need to have a brand that sets out what you're all about, and this is how people are going to perceive you. And it's done in much more than just a name. It's done by having the right strap line, using the right colors, the right messaging, everything that you do, how you communicate with your audience derives from your brand. So have a great brand. On your website, you want to be able to collect people's information. So you can do that by giving free information away. So you can have free guides, free downloads, links to videos, blogs, all these sorts of things you can have where you're going to give people further information for free, and in return they're going to give you their email address. You can also, it's a good idea on your website to have information which they can look at for free without even having to give them an email address. So all these things, they build the trust, helping people to get to know, like, and trust you. Use case studies also on your website as well. So to case studies, testimonials, so you're maintaining your credibility. So there are a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different skills that are needed. So you can't do it all yourself. So get a virtual assistant. So your virtual assistant, some of the tasks that your virtual assistant can do for you within your marketing. So help you create your audience, drive your email marketing campaigns, build and manage your social media. So establish your pages on social media, and then start to build your network on there. They can prepare marketing material, the content that's going to be posted, your images, create presentations for you for webinars. So the slides I'm using today, one of my virtual assistants created all of these slides. I haven't got the time or the knowledge, I'll go to say, to actually be able to do all this stuff myself. Maintaining your website, we talked about. So website updates, your SEO, creating blogs for you, and managing your prospect database. So once you've captured these email addresses, actually maintaining that. How do you use it? Make sure that you're GDPR compliant, which we're going to talk about again in a second. So maintaining that database on your CRM system or your client relationship management software. Then there's other things your virtual assistant can do for you as well. So your VA can, on the operations side, can manage your appointments, manage your calendar, manage your inbox, check your emails, unsubscribe you from emails that you don't want to receive, and respond to necessary emails, or come back to you to get your response for those that they don't know the answers to. Data scraping, listing your products or your services online, taking inquiries when they come in and following up on them. Drafting and issuing out documents for signing. Creating sales material. Price and rate checking. Make sure that you're charging the right price against your competition. And creating your operations manuals and keeping them up to date. On the finance side, so you can have a VA that is checking your incoming payments, collecting those payments, and chasing up any late payments that may arise. Doing your bookkeeping, undertaking your payroll and making supplier payments, producing financial statements and reports, and managing your expenses and your mileage logs. So you can see there's an awful lot of work, tasks that your virtual assistant, or you can have a team of virtual assistants doing for you. And it's likely that a lot of this stuff you may be doing yourself, or maybe some of it's not getting done at all, which is costing you money. So these are the sort of things that you can outsource to a virtual assistant. Now, I did say I would talk about GDPR. So GDPR is really, really important. When you're doing your marketing, the whole purpose of it is to drive traffic to your website, to collect email addresses so that you can go on and further communicate with those people. But you do need to make sure that that you are complying with GDPR. It came in force on the 25th of May 2018, and GDPR applies to how you process personal information for any individuals that are located within the EU, the European Economic Area. And GDPR applies to both business to business and business to consumer. GDPR really revolves around your privacy policy. So as we say, it's how you process people's data and how you inform the user how you're going to process their data. So you need to have a privacy policy that must be communicated with anybody that you want to engage with. Your privacy policy needs to be included on your website. And it should also cover not just your website, but also how you use email marketing software and how you use the data that you collect through your email marketing campaigns. Your privacy policy should be reachable by at least a single click. So on emails themselves that you send out, you should have a link to your privacy policy. You must have an unsubscribe link. So if people don't want to receive any further communications, then they can unsubscribe from your list. It needs to give the reason for the communication. So it could be you're receiving this communication because you recently attended one of our webinars. It must give your company name, your postal address, your email address, and your phone number. So that information must be included on all email communications messages that marketing messages that you send out. And then you use the email to collect consent for you to process that person's details or their data. So when you do that, then the consent, it must be informed and explicit. So you must show the reason why you want to collect their data and how you're going to use their data. You must maintain a record of that consent. So the date that you got the consent, the time, the source of where you actually got their email address. So you need to keep that on record. When you collect their consent, you can't use pre-checked boxes. So the user must check the boxes to say that they consent. And you can't get consent by any third party. So when you registered for this webinar, the fact that you registered for the webinar does not give me the right to add you to my mailing list without further consent. So I can send you an email to say, thank you very much for attending the webinar. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to receive further marketing communications from us, including notifications of other webinars that we may be holding, please tick the box here. And when people give their consent, you do this with a sign-up form. So the sign-up forms, first of all, there's two different types of opting in to your mailing list. So there's a single opt-in, and on that form you must include your information, the purpose for collecting the data and for processing that data, a link to your privacy policy and a checkbox to say that they accept that privacy policy, an explanation of their right to withdraw or unsubscribe from your mailing list. And you can add a preference center. So it could be that when people unsubscribe, they go to a preference center where there could be different things that they're unsubscribing to. So it could be that they want to unsubscribe from general marketing communications, but they do still want to have notifications of webinars that may be held. And you will need, again, you need to include on that single opt-in form your company name, your postal address, your email address, and your phone number. And it's a good idea also when you're collecting this information that you only collect the minimum amount of data that you need, and that is the email address. So the email address is a mandatory field, but you could still maintain anonymous use. So people don't necessarily have to share with you their name or their mobile telephone number, just their email address. And by doing that, although you don't have that information, people have shared with you what they actually want to share, and they're more likely to subscribe than if you were demanding that they gave information over that they didn't want to hand over. But it's also a very good idea to use a double opt-in on email when it comes to email communications. So with a double opt-in, when they have done the single opt-in, they will then receive a further email to verify. Your double opt-in email needs to be strictly informational. So this is not the time to sell. You don't put links to other things on here. This is just to inform them. It's just with a link to confirm their subscription. And a lot of people say, well, why should I do that? They've already given me consent. But it could be that the email address was wrong. So it could be that it was a third party that gave their email address. It could be a malicious act, all sorts of reasons. But by doing this double opt-in, you're ensuring, again, that you've got the security that the person is actually aware that they're opting into this, that you have got the right credentials, you have got the right email address. So you are then making sure that you are maintaining a quality list. So I hope you found that useful, today's webinar. I'm going to take any questions now that you may have. So please do type into the Q&A box questions that you may have. How do you decide who your target audience should be? So that's a really good point, actually. So it's really important that as you are doing your marketing, you're also analyzing the results that you're getting. So look at your existing client base. Where are they located? What's their demographic? What age are they? What's their age range? What sex are they? So look at your existing customers, look at the responses that you're getting from your email. And by doing this, you start to build an avatar. You start to know who your typical client is. What is their age? What is their sex? Where are they located? What sector are they involved in? And then you can then start to do your targeting that way. Can I use my existing VA to run my marketing? Possibly. I don't know who your existing VA is. But yeah, I mean, it depends on what their background, what their experience is. So you would probably know yourself more from your VA. But what is important when you're building a team, when you're working with virtual assistants, you need to build a team of people that are doing what they're good at. So you always play to people's strengths and don't try and develop their weaknesses. So if you have got a virtual assistant that is currently doing your bookkeeping and preparing financial reports and doing your profit and loss and your payroll and all those sorts of things, then it's probably unlikely that they're going to be very good at doing your marketing for you. However, if you've got somebody that's a creator that is really good at coming up with ideas, then yeah, they no doubt will have a place within your marketing team. The actual question is, run my marketing. I would say contribute to your marketing, but you wouldn't have a VA that runs your marketing. At the end of the day, this is your business. Okay, the buck stops with you. You know what you want from your business. You know what your vision is. You know what your goals are. You know where you're going with the business. So you are running the marketing. you are building a team of VAs behind you to help you with that, and maybe to advise you with that and tell you some of the best ways and techniques. But at the end of the day, you are in charge. So I would say make sure you're playing to people's strengths. And yeah, as I said earlier, there are lots of skills that are needed. So when it comes to marketing, we talked about graphic design, creation of content, the words, the actual technical element, SEO. So, you know, these are all different skill sets. So if you really want to be doing it, be doing it, you know, at any kind of scale, you need to build a team with all of those experts in it so that you're doing it properly. Now, for a lot of people, of course, you're starting out, you've got a new business, you don't have the resource, the finances to suddenly recruit an SEO expert, a content writer, a graphic designer, a web developer. You just don't have that resource. You don't have the need to employ all of those people. So we do have another business, which is your virtual marketing team, which is exactly what we just say. It's a marketing team with all of those experts, and we can help you on a project by project basis by your virtual marketing team. Next one, you mentioned email marketing is still relevant. Isn't social media marketing taking the place of email marketing? No, it's certainly not taking the place of it at all. So social media marketing is really, really important. And again, there's lots of moving parts to social media marketing. It comprises of not just having posts on your social media profile, on your, if you've got groups, if you've got pages, all those things help, and you really need to be doing those. Building a community on social media. So we have the Varvavum community. So we've got lots and lots of people in there, people sharing ideas, networking via the community. You can do that for your own business and create your own groups and communities on social media. Would really recommend you do that. So, you know, there's lots of different ways of doing that. We talked about direct messaging with social media as well, building your networks, signing up to other people's groups, commenting on other people's posts, liking them, lots and lots of things. All this is very, very time consuming, and why you would use a virtual assistant. But emails, again, especially if you're adopting the methods we talked about here earlier, so you've got a really good quality email list, which is not full of random people, but the right sort of people, knowing your audience, targeting people that have double opted in to receive your emails, then you can expect great results through email marketing. So they both have a place. What social media platform should I start on? Again, this is very much dependent on knowing your audience. Facebook, so younger people, you know, Facebook is what their mums and dads use. So, you know, that's already the thought. But Facebook is very good for awareness, making people aware of you. LinkedIn is perhaps more professional, more used by corporates and businesses than Facebook. So reaching out business to business it can be better on LinkedIn. Twitter, again, is all about awareness. Instagram is really used an awful lot now. I think Instagram has overtaken Facebook, but again, it's very personal. So with Instagram, you know, it's really mainly done via your phone. So you wouldn't get a VA to do too much on Instagram, although you can. But Instagram is more about sort of taking quick pictures and shots and getting people to know you on a personal level. But I also mentioned TikTok. So TikTok is really becoming the up and rising star now, since we went into lockdown in 2019, was it? And TikTok really started to raise its head, and that is now becoming very, very popular. So different platforms for different reasons. Another good one here. So should I use my business Gmail address for email marketing? No. So don't use a Gmail address. Do have, if you're a business, you need to present yourself professionally. So make sure you've got your own domain. You've got your own email address associated with that domain. Try not to use mobile telephone numbers. Yes, you can use a mobile number, but also have a landline number as well. So all of this just adds to your professionalism, your credibility, how people are going to perceive you. Another one here. So how's GDPR been affected by Brexit? Okay, so that's a really good question. So yeah, so it has been affected, but with GDPR, and GDPR is, if you like, the gold standard worldwide for data protection. So if you are conforming to the requirements of GDPR, then you are pretty much conforming to the standards throughout the world. In America, they've got a different set of standards, but again, GDPR, then you are, if you adhere to GDPR requirements, then you're going to be conforming to the requirements within the US as well. However, when in 2018, when GDPR became obligatory, there was also established the Data Protection Act 2018, which really within the UK, and this mirrors the GDPR. So yeah, although we're not part of the EU, the Data Protection Act 2018 does still apply, and that mirrors GDPR. So no way are we off the hook. And also it applies to anybody that you are communicating with within the EU as well, remember. So I think that's all the questions that I've got at the moment. Yeah, that looks like it. So finally, if you'd like to find out more, then scan the QR code there, or go to the website barbavum.solutions. And on the website, you will find more free videos on marketing, on property sourcing, on outsourcing to a VA, lots of content there. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want. And again, on the YouTube channel, there's lots of free content available. So you can do that via the website. And if you would like to book a discovery call with me, then again, you can book a call with me via the website as well. So hope you've enjoyed today's session. Hope it's been informative, and I will see you next month in February. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.